Hey guys, it's Andrew. Today is the 4th of February, 2026, and I thought I'd give an update on what I think is going on with the price of Bitcoin. So I'm just gonna bring in the RSI. I've been focusing on the RSI now, the monthly, for a while, and I don't want it to go below 48, and it's at 46.6. So we're below this area. Which makes me think that we're going to maybe keep on going down now in the RSI to anywhere below or anywhere at 37 or 41 on the monthly, and currently we're at 46. So I think we're in a bear market unless, this RSI keeps going up. So I think we're in a bear market. So if we're in a bear market, how can we prepare, basically? I still think we have a week to make any pressing decisions. And to start with, I'm going to look at the RSI. Second, just gonna move this. So I'm gonna draw a line there, and I'm gonna draw a line here. Okay, so this is the RSI on the weekly. As you can tell, we're at 26 on the weekly, which is very low. Last time we were at 26 was June 2022. And December December of 2018 and 2015 and even 2014 here, but I'm going to look at this. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay over the fractal from here, from these specific dates, 1, 2, and 3, over where we are here, just to get a bit of an indication on how low we can go and how high we can go. So as an indication, of course, this is 2015, so I'm just gonna try and place this there. I'm placing this here because I just want to be, a little bit open to a capitulation, and I think a capitulation to 45 would make sense at this rate. So this is 2000, the blue is 2015. The yellow is 2018. And I don't know, somewhere like this. And then the yellow, this one, will change it to this color. Okay, so what are we saying here? When you keep this chart in log, then any fractal you lay over is in the same movement. So if I lay this out here, and lay this out here, and I lay this out here, this is not necessarily the best way to do this, but just to get a bit of an idea where to place our limit orders, I'm assuming that that might be a trend line, and that might be a trend line, you know. So basically, the area of interest is 44.9, 45, and this one is 62. So maybe we go down to 62.45, so that's our range, which should be a buy, definitely, in this area. Now, assuming, of course, that Bitcoin is going to move similar to how it did in the past 3 times it's been in this situation since as far back as 2015. You know, there's still cases for Bitcoin to be at 100 by November 2026, but there's also a case for it to be at 49 by August or September. So that's a little bit on the RSI. So what am I doing? I wrote an article. That pretty much covers us for this downside. So back here, price was 88k, and I basically thought that there was an opportunity to come down in around 78,000. Let's see where we are now. We're at 76,000. So this first order was filled for me. I'll show my orders after this, but this first order was filled. Now, since this article, Bitcoin's monthly was at just below 60, 54, something like that. And now it's down to 46. So that was a big hit to our RSI. And what we have to do is just, if this doesn't materialize, i.e. we get the resolve to the base, then what I'm seeing is more falls down to the 64, 58, here I wrote 39, but we might not get that low based on the RSI fractals, where all 3 indicate a bottom at 44,200. So I would layer in all the way down to 44,200, and I would just put one in around 31,000. So let me just show you what happened in euro. So basically I also prepared this just so you can see in euro. As you can see here is when you make a high on the momentum, you can draw like a trending line down. It goes to the bottom, the RSI. Once it makes a bottom, it took 63 days to start trending up towards this level. At this level, we know we're meeting resistance from 2017, but the momentum goes up, and at this point, you're buying. Why? Because you have all the upside. So what happened here in 2022? So in 2022, the RSI basically has been trending down with this resistance line, and from the low, more or less from the low, it took 196 days to make our way back to that resistance line and basically get above it, and that corresponded with the bear market low of 2023 when the price then just started going up. So what's happened now is I've laid out a resistance line, and we are maybe at the bottom, maybe we go lower. In history, have we been lower? Yes. We went lower here, which is 23. and here we are at 25. So I mean, whatever, I don't know what that would mean if we go lower, but chances are this might be the low in the weekly RSI, which means that we can start trending, but we are quite far away from this resistance line, so I suspect that we're gonna chop for a while, and I don't know what's to come of that. Maybe this bear market will be one where it's full of volatility. I hope that this volatility in this kind of situation to maybe get a bounce similar to this, like we got here, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm not willing to forecast or predict. I'm just showing, I think, what happened in 2018, 2022, and where we are now. So where we are now means that, in my opinion, I think people should be looking to set their orders. If you put in an order at 43,000, then you might not see it till June of this year. So you have to be patient. And this is why, now I can show you my trade. So 1 second, because I laid over some, show the history. Yeah, so guys, I'm also taking bets here. I'm trying to buy all these dips, and I have orders open at 58, which causes this gap, in my opinion. And on each bounce, if I go to the 4 hours at least, I caught the bottom here when I could have sold for whatever, 4%, could have sold for 5%, but these are all positional plays. I'm not really looking to speculate here on Bitcoin for a fast trade or anything like that. Reason being is because I took most of my profit up here with these multiple sells, and now I'm just layering in slowly, not knowing what is in store for this bear market. So that leaves me with Bitcoin. I'm going to make another video on a chart pattern that convinced me to sell over here, and it also can highlight maybe a bit of a bottom, but I'll do that in another video. Cool. So that's what I think about Bitcoin. Basically, business as usual. Set up your limit orders, get them as low or in the range of, I would do 69 and 44k with a small one at 32k, just in case we get a panic. And I would also be open to the fact that maybe we get a relief rally of some sort. And in this particular case, it's maybe taking us to, this is USD, so maybe 84. Now 84 is my line in the sand. So what 84 was my line in the sand before in a previous article, where I said that if Bitcoin goes below 84, then I don't think it's going to make the comeback. So if we rally toward 84 and get rejected at 84, then I can definitely see us, doing this prolonged period of time below where we are now, which is until June. So between now and June, we might see Bitcoin dip a further 40% from here, which would really shake the system, or at least we'll see if the system is solid or not, and we'll know from there. Okay, so quickly, just look at 1 second. Yeah, so in this example, you have 58,000, 64,000. These were chosen based off CME gaps, which I like to look at. You have CME gap here, you have a CME gap here, take your pick. And I found that they're more accurate when you do it like that. Now, what is I going to show? Yeah, hype. Okay, so this coin is pumping. You're looking at the weekly. Let's look at the daily. So solid, solid, solid. Solid. Okay, guys, so you have multiple bases here. So hype was at a minus 43%. So we would have gotten here, would have gotten somewhere there, and we would have been looking to sell here and looking to sell here. I don't see many more super bases like to work with, but obviously there's this level which hasn't been reached, or maybe was reached here. But I mean, it's pumping, but it's also closing and resolving. Where is my rectangle, bro? Rectangle, rectangle. This. So if you got in anywhere below 15%, which was here, and if you got in 30% lower, which is here, and if you got in 41%, no, you wouldn't have gotten 40 from this base, but you would have gotten from here, and you would have gotten from here. So it's where you choose to see your base, basically. RSI on the daily is up, but I would personally be scaling out if I took my positions here, because I would have made my 55%, I would have made my 38% or my 47% trade. If you want more information about what I'm talking about exactly with these trades, please look at my How to Trade Without Leverage ebook. It is $87, guys, because I genuinely believe that in 1 hour and a half, you'll know a structure, and in that structure, you'll look at charts completely different. That's it, full stop. From the time you read the book onwards, it's just a way to look at the chart, and all of a sudden you can say, wow, okay, so I'm going to get in there, I'm going to exit there. That gives me an opportunity for X amount of % profit. I understand it. So take your time, in the sense, like, whatever, take your time in knowing whether you need this book or not. I'm pretty sure it's going to help you. If, for example, you put in €100 here, just off this base, and you got in there and sold there, you made €58. That's almost the cost of the book. If you had 2 trades, that's €58 profit, and this is €38 profit. That's the whole book. And anyways, enough about the strategy. I don't really wish to talk about it. I'll wish to save it for the subscription page, and for the ones that actually enjoy trading it. Okay, that's hype. Tria, I had to look. Why am I looking at Tria? Because it's in a top trending coin today, and it actually is pumping. But when I went to check it, it had a market cap of 200,000, and I will avoid all these because I don't trust them. So that's my update for today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. We're launched now. We're slowly being indexed by Google, and I'm trying to capture articles that, they're nice to read or they're easy to read, but also the articles that are a little bit difficult to read, but they offer some information that can give you a little bit of a fundamental edge over someone else that might not know the coin you're trading exactly. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this update, and thanks for listening, guys. Ciao, ciao.